All right, you guys, welcome back to another great episode. This is episode 10, the benefits of living on purpose. Let's get into it. So, you ought to understand that purpose creates energy. Oftentimes, people say, I don't have the energy to do things, I don't feel like it, right? I'm laughing because it's been a minute since I actually said I don't feel like it. Nevertheless, guys, so alignment gives you the strength. No caffeine can. Now, I'm not against coffee. Drink coffee here and there. Do what you got to do to get up. However, we'll be talking about the long term growth and the long term expansion of who we are. Purpose is what's going to drive you. They say every man needs a purpose. Why? Because the purpose will give you the energy to do more. Ask your man about a purpose. Like, talk to a man who doesn't have direction in life, who doesn't know his divine identity, who doesn't know what he's good at. He doesn't even know who he's supposed to be serving. And you will find a man who lacks vision, drive, or you can call it ambition. He's distracted and he's playing games, whether that be physical games or metaphysical games. And he thinks that this life is free. He takes it for granted. And he doesn't have the energy to do all the things that he desired to do, to be, and to have. Why? Because he doesn't have a purpose. Now, we talked about this a lot on the podcast Change by Design, guys. Remember, the purpose is what you remember. And from that level of remembrance, you create. And then now creation flows from the source. So when I do my videos and my podcasts and my teachings and lectures and scrolls, they flow infinitely. It doesn't take energy. It gives me energy. Why? Because it's coming from the source. That's why your alignment with your identity will give you the strength and will give you infinite energy. This is why integrity and character must be your number one goal in life. Most people think that, getting the money in the car and having an abundance of things to do would have. That's the goal, right? But you see that that's not the goal. That's the byproduct. Where you see the physical manifestation of success is the byproduct of what? A man who chased his purpose. A man who stayed focused long enough to even, eat the fruits of the labor. And you see that the purpose, as the purpose, the character, the integrity, that must be the goal. So another thing that purpose does, guys, it clarifies decisions. There's no more confusion because your purpose is the filter. So you ask yourself whenever you're doing things or even buying things, is this in alignment with who I am? Is this in alignment with my highest good? Now, if the answer is yes, you're on purpose. If the answer is no, you have a clear definition of what you will and won't do. And that's how you stay focused, guys. That clarity of mind, that clarity must be the central focus of your life. Because if you're off task consistently enough, like daily, you know what that does? That brings forth a certain level of disharmony. And it throws off your rhythm. Like whenever I may do things that are out of alignment with who I am, who I say I am, I notice immediately it throws off my rhythm. So it's like a temperature, it's a thermometer, right? Your standards and your purpose, they go hand in hand, right? Your standards is what you will and want to set out of life, out of yourself. That's why my book, Mindset 2.0, it's time to raise your standards. I talk uniquely about seeing every situation and circumstance in your life as an opportunity to raise your level of consciousness. And if you can do that and you pair it with your purpose, whether it be serving a certain group of men, whether it be serving women, whether it be healing, teaching, building, creating, whatever it may be, because it's different for everybody, right? You pair your purpose with your standards, and your decisions flow effortless. You don't have to second guess yourself because you know not only who you are, you know what you're supposed to be doing. And then your character. I always say the character is the currency, guys. It's the only currency that haven't counted. So this is why you must live on purpose. And these are the benefits, guys. Infinite energy. I do not get tired. Clarity of decisions. I know what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, how it needs to be done. Let's get into number 3, guys. Purpose attracts allies. So the right people gather around the mission, not performance. Now, I'm actually in this spot in my transformation right now where I'm attracting allies. I'm attracting those who are called to be on the same frequency as I am. And I'm noticing even in my TikTok feed or my YouTube feed or just in my mind, like thoughts that I think of, right? People are coming on the same frequency. They're eating healthier. A lot of them are fruitarians, raw fruit vegans. Like, I don't really follow or even consume any type of content that's not in alignment with where I'm going or who I am. So, no, they're not necessarily helping me directly. However, indirectly, they are cultivating a frequency of alignment. And that's what your purpose would do. So let's say, for instance, you was a gardener, right? Then more often than not, you're going to be drawn towards other people, other channels, other podcasts that talks about gardening, talks about the flowers and the plants and the fruits. It talks about cultivating soil. It talks about how to, if you're actual a farmer, right, how to produce. So these are things that happen when you're on purpose. When you're off purpose, you get a whole bunch of, I would say, low frequency behavior, low frequency people and experiences, and ultimately it's just not going to be a good day. Like, ask yourself, when was the last time you had a good day? If your answer is not yesterday, there's something wrong. Because every day that I breathe, when I'm on purpose, guys, every day I wake up, it's another opportunity to build another brick of my kingdom. And every day is a good day. Honestly, like, I don't have no drama. I don't have nobody trying to come after me. I don't have any cognitive dissonance between what I'm doing and who I am. And I'm using every day as an opportunity to what? Refine my character. Increase my integrity. Multiply my value. And return it all to gold. So if yesterday was not a good day, guys, you got to make today a good day. And you do that through, working on yourself, dissolving the illusions of separateness, the illusions of lack, the illusions of doubt and fear. Like, this is what you have to do. And the purpose is going to give you the courage to do so. And like I said before, guys, number 3, the purpose will attract the allies. So don't go seeking people. You're not going to find them. 90%, 99% of the people that I see on a day-to-day basis in my school, job, or in my day out and about, guess what? 99% of them do not do what I do. They don't think how I think. They don't eat what I eat. They don't comprehend or even understand the magnitude of what I bring. Not because they're not valuable or worthy themselves. It's because they're not aware. And you understand that the more you move towards your purpose, the less people are going to be aware of what it is you bring. So that's what you have to strategize a little bit more on. How do you present yourself and lower your your understanding so that they can perceive what it is you're talking about. Not dim your light. Do not dim your light. But you have to meet people where they're at. And that's what I'm learning right now on my journey. Meeting people where they're at. And I think you get a lot more people to not only cooperate, but to vibe and feel what you're saying if you just meet them where they're at. Lastly, guys, this is a practical flame. Write one sentence. My life is this too. ... And let it guide every move this week. I repeat that. Here is the practical frame. Write this down, guys. One sentence. My life is this too. For me, it would be, my life is this to teach others. Well, it's teaching, but I'll say help. It's more of a service, okay? I'll say it like this, guys. Check this out. My life is this to help those remember their divinity through discipline, character, and purpose. And I let that guide every move I make this week. You do the same. And you will find that your life begins to flow in rhythm and harmony with the Most High. And the essence of that flow, how you know you're in the flow? Peace. Here's your affirmation, guys. My purpose fuels me. I live aligned, not distracted. So I want to say I appreciate you guys for listening to the podcast, episode 10, The Benefits of Living on Purpose. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the description below. And you already know we're going to keep going, guys. From lead to gold. And if this sparks something inside your soul, share it with others. And may your day, may your week be prosperous and peaceful. I'm out for now. Until next time, guys. Next episode, we're going to be talking about a system for sovereignty. How do you live free? I'll see you on the next one. Let's go.